You know, the knock on Mugi is he sometimes kind of disappears for a couple months. He doesn't take ladder too seriously, and then, you know, technically he didn't try for a couple months, but it feels like he did, and he just didn't have a lot of success. But at the end of the day, he always brings it when it comes to these kind of competitions, and like late stage brackets, late stage, everything's on the line. This is where he does his best. And it's not even comparatively to like his opponents are making mistakes. It just feels like he's playing his best as the pressure ramps up.
And an interesting choice here out of Mo, going a fairly, despite the Electro Spear had a classic version of log bait here with the Inferno Tower. I'm wondering if he was thinking that Mugi might go a little off meta here or a little heavy in game number 1, as some of the players have done. Seems like he got caught out here.
Yeah, the Archer Queen plus Hog is going to it's going to be very difficult to defend. But, you know, as the game goes on, maybe the Inferno Towers get a little bit easier. But right here, Hog plus, if he can get anything on the board, no, Hog still gets one shot, though.
Reaching the midway point of regulation time, and you see Mo go for a bit of scratch at the back of the head there. What's the game plan for Mohamed Light going forward from this point in this game?
Well, he always needs to have enough elixir for Hog, and the best way is going to be Valk plus E-Spirit plus Skellies. You don't want to have to be in a situation where you have to use Inferno Tower, because at the end of the day, you're allowing your opponent to cycle, you're allowing your opponent to... When you use that Inferno Tower, you don't have that pressure, so that Goblin Barrel isn't going to get value because he's going to log, and then he's just going to be back to another Hog. So when he's in a situation where he can Valk, that's what I want to see.
And this definitely doesn't feel like the kind of game where you can succeed on Rocket Cycle, being up against Earthquake Lock.
Right, you just don't have the potential to be able to Rocket Cycle with a lot of success. It's especially when you're allowing your Dark Elements to die or to get killed off. It's just tougher.
Yeah, and you saw almost able to get the distraction down. What you saw what Mo was going for there, couldn't quite do it. So Mugi just keeps the pressure on, doesn't get a hog shot, but comes out of this maybe a bit behind on elixir. So now a good look here from Mugi, log not in cycle, and first significant damage from Mohamed Light, and now he's back within about 150 HP.
A pretty huge mistake right there. If he goes Valk in the front, then he takes the aggro from the Dark Goblin, and then he can just Fire Spirit in the back. Instead, Goblin's getting a lot of value, and with 2 minutes left, game is basically tied, but Mohamed Light has a slight advantage.
So this is interesting, because you just saw the rocket being cycled onto tower there. Obviously, he's not pushing into that left-hand tower, but why not rocket the left-hand tower and Archer Queen there rather than go for the damage? Is that just because that's the only way to damage and he feels he can control the AQ otherwise?
In this matchup, this is one of the only matchups in the world where Archer Queen isn't the win con. Archer Queen isn't getting the value you normally would expect from it. So he doesn't need to worry about it because he has the Valk, he has the Inferno Tower if he needs to. He doesn't have to worry about the offensive Archer Queens like you normally do.
Hog Rider down, Dark Goblin way far away to be right behind the Inferno Tower. Does he stop the Hog? And yes, he does. Mugi still with the lead here, but Mo starting to put together moves. Does throw the log on the right-hand side for Mugi. Hog Rider down.
It's super interesting that he chooses to go... Does not get the shot. It's super interesting that he chose to go with the Goblin Barrel. I would have expected him to kind of just stop going in on offense when it came to that way and start trying to rocket cycle early. I wasn't a huge fan that he was going in with the offensive Goblin Barrels.
And does the log work? It does, but Hog immediately opposite lane. So now Mohamed Light having to defend both lanes here. One shot in for Mugi. Good opportunities in both sides. 337 to the left, 415 to the right, and Mo just goes full send. Does it work? 527. Can he get around faster than this next Earthquake?
Rocket should come down soon. Needs to cycle to the log as well. We're going to see the Rocket and log not getting there. Mugi going to take game number 1. And yeah, it's interesting that he chooses bait for game number 1, especially like a quick cycle can struggle to a lot of decks.
More of Mohamed Light versus Mugi. Let's go. Game number 2.
That was very nice. I agree with all of the things that you said right there.
Oh, thank you. So here we go. Mortar Cannon Cart for Mugi, and Mo going with the bowler. So feels a lot like GY out of Mo instead.
Yeah, and I'm hoping is going to be that freeze variation. It only works when you have the bowler, so I'm getting more and more excited as the seconds go on. And then on the other side, I really like this Cannon Cart deck. I'm going to say it time and time again. Anytime you have Cannon Cart with a mortar, with spam, that is a good, well-constructed deck.
And Zappy's come down to work on both the miner and pick up the bats on the top end. So early damage here, a little bit of chip courtesy of the defending world champion. And Mohamed Light, of course, down 2 at the moment, so needs to win 2 in a row to stay alive in the tournament. Who would have thought this was a elimination match we would have seen rather than one on the upper side of the bracket?
Right, not me. Not me. Yeah, I can't say that I would have seen that. Mohamed Light going to, I think I've seen this version before, and it might have arrows instead of a big spell. So it'll be cool if we see that from him. Mugi not doing anything too. Oh, wow. A huge missed arrows, and the way this deck is constructed for Mugi, that could be game if he protects his mortar.
And there goes the bowler working on the left-hand side. Mortar out of the way, and bowler now making its way towards the tower. Can he get some damage on? So far, Mugi pitching a shutout as we go into double.
I'm really shocked that he chose to not save it. That feels... You're not going to get any damage whatsoever from mortar at this point in the game. So it's really interesting that he chose that. It makes me think that he knows this matchup incredibly well and understands he just needs to defend and then get one push going.
Skeleton King with the cannon cart in front, mortar down, big push for Mugi on the left-hand lane. And Miner goes to the front here. And what was the purpose, the intent of that Miner out of Mugi there?
It looks like he was trying to predict the bowler, but I don't understand why he would feel like that's the correct play. I would have liked to see him just play that behind the bowler, because he's going to play it off to the side. I don't know why he chose to play it as high as he did. Maybe it was to get the zappies, actually.
Mortar high and Tombstone in response, and nice timing, does get a distraction by the skeletons, so Tombstone playing double duty here, both a little bit of defense and a little bit of distraction. Dark Goblin now in the middle. Arrows take care of business for Mohamed Light. Minute 45 left, and Mo with the lead in game 2.
The snowball for bats, arrows for Dark Goblin is putting Mugi in such a difficult position when he's trying to set up the correct bushes. I really like how this deck choice is set up, and it's one of the only times that I've seen the Mega Minion get a lot of value in these recent tournaments. It's so strong when those two cards are taken out. He's always in an uncomfortable position defending it.
More damage on that left-hand line. Minute 12 remaining. Triple Elixir almost here. As Mo sets up bowler on the left-hand lane, gets some chip on that right-hand side as well. And now it's Mugi switching lanes. Does have more damage on that side. Not having much success playing same lane right now as Mohamed Light.
There we go. We do see the offensive arrows. This is the push that he was hoping to set up, but that is 2 bowlers on the board. We have a Tombstone. We have the arrows taking out the Dark Goblin. He is in a prime position to just kind of wait out the next minute. He has so much going down that Mugi's going to be on his back leg for possibly the rest of this game.
Final 30 seconds. 1674 to 1950. Bowler playing defense on the right-hand side, and the Tombstone in the back predicts the Miner by about a mile, so Miner not going to get much here for Mugi at all. And now Mohamed Light putting pressure on the left-hand side. Graveyard down, Skeleton King tanking arrows for that Skarmy. This should be a whole lot of damage here, and it forces out the defensive Skeleton King, and that should be a GG well played. Looks like we're going to game number 3.
Yeah, beautifully played. So slow, calm, collected the entire game. I mean, that snowball arrows, Right. So I've seen a lot of people try and substitute the Mega Knight for P.E.K.K.A in these P.E.K.K.A Ram Rider Lightning decks. And even if you get the exact matchup you want, the reason why you have Mega Knight is because you need that pressure. And so I do not want to see him use P.E.K.K.A. Possibly, you know, one of these Drill Bandit Ghost decks could be the exact way. And I guess that is the exact direction that he wants to go as well.
And Ghost should get one, and it does on the right-hand side. First blood drawn once more by Mugi as Mo sets up Ghost in the back. Musketeer, which, you know, Musketeer was at one point everywhere and then took a big hit. And now she's back at a, what I'd say is a moderately decent use rate.
Right. I do not know Mugi's fascination with Musketeer. It just doesn't feel like that's ever the correct answer. So just not a huge fan of that. So far, brilliant defense, and I don't think that's going to go to King Tower. Mega Knight on top of the tower, huge mistake for Muhammad Light, and he's in a rough spot.
Yeah, and that's a big chunk here, 1450, and that's what we talked about. You start trying to do a Mega Knight King Tower activation, and maybe you have a half step less elixir, or the first card wasn't quite where you wanted it, and we see the results there, 1450. Big hit early as we are approaching double elixir time.
And knowing your opponent has lightning, that's going to make it all the more difficult to get those correct defenses. You know your opponent can cycle MK in the back because he still has Ghost available to him. So the Ghost is still going to be able to take out the drill, the wall breakers with ease. So you never have that opportunity to get the advantage when something is cycled. And at this point, it's just going to be so hard for him to come back knowing that really nothing is available to him to get these clean elixir advantages.
So stacking at the bridge right now is Mo on defense from Mugi, but still a Ram Rider connection. Come on, brutal.
Right there, that's going to be a lot of damage potentially on the tower. No, nice snowball, going to be able to defend it fairly easily. But this is a lot coming down the lane. Bandit doesn't go to the Musketeer, but that's almost even better. Gets the tower almost to 1,000 HP, and it's a game again.
Yeah, we definitely have a game again one more time. This Ghost has to be controlled, though. Bandit high to turn the Ghost around. Musketeer will go down to the Royal Ghost of Muhammad Light. Mugi setting up MK in the back as we go to sudden death. What looked like absolute tragedy for Muhammad Light has turned back into a competitive matchup. Who's going to come out on top? The defending world champion or the man who views him as his nemesis?
There we go, Musketeer up top, going to be able to help out, but the Archer Queen up top by Muhammad Light is going to be able to take everything out. Really good spot. Drill going to be cycled on the left. I like that he's not, he's not married to the right side. He knows how to play the matchup, but the Ghost, with the MK jumping, he's going to need more in order to stop that MK.
Yeah, Ghost a half step late there, but still, damage in both lanes, and now back into that right-hand lane. You're going to eat these Ghost shots. Does he eat a Bandit shot as well? No, goes Bandit high. Now dual lane options here for Mugi. Muhammad Light behind by 10. Bandit connects with the dash on the left-hand lane, but a lot in both sides. How does Muhammad Light defend against this?
Go's going to be able to take out the Musketeer. The fact that he has Musketeer instead of Archer Queen. Archer Queen can go invisible. Musketeer cannot. Has to defend this. I don't know if he's going to be able to. Musketeer going down the left. Bandit plus Ghost plus Musketeer.
Oh.
So much on the board. Tesla not in time.
And that was such a brilliant sequence overall by Muhammad Light to keep that one alive. But Mugi, in the end, pressuring, realizing his opponent was on the ropes, and getting the job done. GG, well played. For now, the rivalry continues to move towards Mugi, who will stay alive and move on in this tournament. Muhammad Light has to reset and prepare himself for our next shot at a Clash Royale League World Finals golden ticket.
いや、入った家の。来た、ライト圏内。おおこれはでかい。うわー、やば。はあ。えぐ、これは。
ここで勝つのはさすがやの。
ね。 いやー、またライトに勝ったんか、麦が。いや、すげえなー。ガチすごい。
麦をこいつエンジンにかかったら止まんね
こいつマジエンジンかかったらやばいわ。いや、これすごい。
麦お前ねさせてくれよお前。
お前何お前勝つから寝れねえじゃねえか、お前。絶対これ後で。
お前夜更かしすな夜更かし。
これ絶対後で見てにやけとるで、麦。ガチに焼きましたって言ってる。いやー、すげえなー、これは。でも、なんか、ライトの防衛バカうまくなかった？
うまかった。
なんか見たことない位置にドリルとテスラ出てたもん。